I know this mountain is challenging. I know it can throw a lot at you. It's got elevation. It's got some steep sections. It's got length of the trail. We're gonna throw what we got at it and see if we can conquer it.
The story of this trip begins nearly 6 years ago, when we first learned of the tallest mountain in New Mexico, Wheeler Peak. We set a goal to reach its summit, and 3 years later, with the help of 2 adventurous friends, my brother Isaac and I did just that. Now, 3 years after that, life has changed for all of us, and we have our sights set on returning to this peak and conquering it again, and this time with a new group of people.
It is the morning of September 1st and we are all loaded up, ready to head out to New Mexico to hike Wheeler Peak. We're going to be camping 3 nights in Red River, New Mexico. The 4 of us, myself, Isaac and Katie, and Steven, and it is going to be such a good time. So let's go.
First impressions.
Looking great. The river's beautiful, shady, lots of good level camping space. Looks like there's some good amenities. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm very excited to be here. So I'm just super excited to be on this camping trip with Katie and Isaac and Levi. This is my first time really being out to camp kind of for real, out in the mountains. It's something I'm super excited about, and I think one reason is because growing up, my grandpa told a lot of stories about when he worked for the Bureau of Land Management in the Western United States and just had a lot of adventures in national and state parks and federal lands. And so being out in the mountains and experiencing some of those things is something that's just really special to me. And to spend that time bonding with people that I love just means a lot.
Over here, you can leave them there. Kind of grew up a good mixture of part country girl, part city girl. Camping was not a huge part of my life, and I was good with that. But, you know, Isaac really opens the world up to me, and he shows me what we're capable of doing together and how it's okay to step outside of what I know to be my little boundary of life, and it really opens up so many possibilities. So he's opened up this possibility, which is just so much fun, and it's expanded my horizon of things that I derive a huge amount of enjoyment from, which is bringing people together through food. I love cooking that perfect meal and putting it out for my friends and family, and just stimulating good conversation with good food, and great relationship always follows that. Prepping for a camping trip and getting that all together, I got super excited about the camp kitchen and bringing dinner to life in this beautiful setting.
These kinds of trips are such a stress relief for me. It's nothing like getting out in the woods. I love it. This trip is going to be different because this is the first kind of trip like this with Katie. I'm really excited to be able to help Katie and Steve experience something that they've never experienced before. I really enjoy that. I don't have a whole lot of experience per se, but I have some, and I enjoy sharing that. You know, sharing whatever gear and equipment that I have. You know, like being able to supply that to those that
don't have it, and allow them to experience something that I enjoy a lot. That means a lot to me.
So the great thing about this is I brought insulated mugs for everyone, so nobody's drink will go cold. Isaac really opens up the world to me and says, let's look at what we could do. Let's see where we can go. And I think that's what this trip embodies for me. And that's kind of important right now. That's kind of tough. It's a lot of uncertainty about this trip. A few months before we started booking stuff, had a lot of health problems come up, and a lot of those included just fatigue and a lot of symptoms like that. And so it kind of raised the question, if we come, and our whole object is to hike this mountain, this famous Wheeler Peak I've heard so much about, can I do that? That's a tough question to ask yourself. I want to do it. Can I do it? Is it safe to do it? And really just having to explore the limitations without pushing that boundary too much. And that's a fine line.
I see myself as kind of the group leader. I've got the most experience, and I see that as a responsibility. Make sure everybody has water, sunscreen, all of that, all the things that are necessary to make it an enjoyable time.
So it is our first morning at camp. Everybody is up and at it. Katie and Isaac are getting breakfast going. Steven is getting some firewood, and I'm just filming. Oh, that wasn't good. I'm very much excited about making videos. It's what I love to do. And so that's kind of the number one thing in my mind that I'm looking forward to about this trip. And I definitely do, on top of that, appreciate and enjoy outdoor adventure. I've been up to Wheeler Peak before. Isaac and we did this mountain back in 2020, and that is like an all-time high experience for me. Literally, the highest elevation I've ever been. But really an all-time great experience in my life. So coming back and doing it again is something I'm very excited about. And I very much value doing things that I love with people that I love. I hope after this trip to be a better storyteller in my craft of video making, and to just become a better person, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be a better person by the time the day is over than they were at the start. The hash brown and sausage egg camp breakfast was a major success. We're packing up what we need to take with us today. We're gonna hit the road here in a little bit after we get the dishes washed and stuff, and do some exploring. Our main goal for our first full day in the mountains is to get acclimated to the altitude as much as possible. Coming from our home at around 1,000 feet straight up to Wheeler Peak at 13,000 feet is a bit jarring on the body. So today, we're going to prepare for tomorrow's summit by climbing another peak, but with the truck. We've been meaning to do the Greeny Peak off-road trail for a few years now, and today is the day we're finally going to make it happen. At 11,145 feet, this is the highest drivable peak in New Mexico, and we're excited to take it on with our F-150. we have made it to the top of Greeny Peak. This has been a couple of years in the making. We originally heard about this trail probably about 6 years ago, and then almost did it 2 years ago. But here we are, 2023, finally drove to the top. So cool to drive to the top of a mountain like this. It's gonna be even more cool to hike to the top of a mountain even taller tomorrow. And we can see that mountain right over there.
Oh, it is beautiful. It was well worth the drive. I mean, the drive itself is beautiful, but to do the drive and then be treated to all of this, man, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. And I get to eat lunch, which I'm also really excited about my lunch.
So we are stopping for lunch. I don't think you could ask for a better lunch spot here on top of a 11,000 foot mountain.
We are airing up after the trail. It was a really cool trail. It was, had some technical spots, great view at the top. Side by sides a little difficult. Didn't love that part, but it was a good trail. Glad we did it. So we're gonna go check out the trailhead for tomorrow, down at the other end of Red River. Make sure we know where to get, how to get to it and where it is and everything, because it'll be dark when we get to it in the morning. And then we're gonna head back to camp and kind of relax a little bit and get dinner going, and then get things prepped for tomorrow.
Alright, so our trailhead seems to lie up this road, which is very watery. There's water flowing down the middle of it. Interesting. There are some uncertainties about this trail. Isaac doesn't really know where part of it goes. It should be easy to find once you get there, but hard to tell from here. Anyway, we are scouting it out. It's not quite what I expected to see, but that's why we're scouting. Isaac seems to be in a hurry here. On this return to Wheeler Peak, we are taking a route from the opposite side we did last time, so the trailhead and tomorrow's hike are unfamiliar to us.
So we found the trailhead straight through here. Here's where it goes. It'll be looking forward to tomorrow morning and making sure we don't have any questions.
So we have the trailhead location scouted, ascertained, and we feel pretty confident about it. And I am feeling the excitement mounting for sure. I mean, Isaac and I, because we've done this before, and I know Steve is definitely feeling pretty excited.
I am excited. I would say right now my excitement is mixed with nervousness, but that's not dampening the excitement. I think it's just kind of adding to the adrenaline.
I'm really happy that we scouted this out the day before.
Yes.
Because we would have been very confused and either parked down there and walked this also, or thought we were in the completely wrong place. So really glad that we scouted it out in the daylight, so we know for sure where we're going.
So we are back at camp. It's been a successful day, a fun day, exploring some of the mountains here in Red River. We feel pretty confident about the trailhead location for tomorrow morning in the dark. And tonight is gonna be prep for tomorrow, which includes making lunches, getting our backpacks all packed and in order. And after that's done, I think pretty much just kind of a rest and relaxation kind of evening to kind of recharge and make sure we're rested up well for the big push tomorrow to get up to Wheeler Peak. So I'm looking forward to this evening. It's gonna be a nice time to just fellowship with the team, just enjoy some quality mountain time together.
Got my necessities here. Gonna be putting extra bottles of water in here in addition to my half-gallon Coleman jug, which I'm gonna clip to the outside of my bag. Some of my compatriots on this hike have camelback backpacks with water bladders in them. I am not as experienced hiking and have not invested in some of the nicer equipment, so I just am gonna use a jug of water attached to my pack.
So we've been busy at work getting everything ready for tomorrow. Our packs are loaded, locked and loaded for bear. I've got all of my camera equipment, plus about 5 liters of water and food for about 10, 12 hours on the trail is what I'm expecting. The length of the trail we're looking at is about 14 miles, which is, I believe, the longest hike we've ever done, and this is no average hike. This is climbing a mountain up to 13,163-ish feet. It is no joke. You know, Isaac and I have done this before. It was 3 years ago. We know the challenge that it is to climb this mountain. We're all taking it very seriously. We all have definitely a lot of excitement, anticipation, and some nerves going on. But you know, there are some very real doubts whether all of us together can complete this hike as planned. You know, Katie's health concerns that have come up with some fatigue and some nausea issues could really be a serious roadblock in her completing this hike. We don't know how it's going to play out. We want to make a good team decision, and it's just going to have to be a game time decision of whether everyone is in the shape necessary to actually reach the summit.
Something that's definitely at top of mind for me has to do with my right foot. I have plantar fasciitis in that foot, and it's something I've struggled with over time from distance running, and even as the injury has progressed, some distance walking and things of this nature. I consistently, even just in daily activities, get pain in this right foot. So I'm going to be pushing it pretty hard tomorrow on this hike. And really what I'm thinking about most right now is not wanting the foot to be the weak link that would prevent me from being able to finish this hike. And on the flip side of that coin, if I am able to finish the hike, pushing it to a point to where I'll have prolonged pain during and afterwards, and having to continue to rehab that. So it's a very long-term injury that can take 8 to 12 months to heal. So it's something that you can't really rest, you just have to manage it. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and hoping that the foot holds up and that the pain won't be too bad tomorrow and into the future.
So tomorrow is the big day. It's the object of this whole camping expedition here in Red River, and that is climb day. We're gonna make our push to Summit Wheeler Peak, and we don't know what's gonna happen. But what we do know is whatever happens, it'll be a success because we'll do it as a team. We'll make a team decision, whatever is best for the 4 of us at that time, and it'll be a win for us. So we're all looking forward to it. We're all apprehensive, nervous, excited, pumped, stoked, all these things, but definitely looking forward to the hike tomorrow. Whatever comes, let's do it.
I am hyped.
Just ready to rock and roll.
Ready to hit it.
This is a big day. Let's do it.
The planning part is relatively easy. As with most hikes for me, planning it sounded like so much fun. We're here and it's still a lot of fun, but I am very thankful for these nice rocks along the trail. They make a really nice seat. So planning was probably a little bit more fun than walking it, but I mean, you can't beat these views by any means.
So we are about a mile in, definitely taking it nice and easy, the pace we can all maintain, because that's what's going to, in the end, be what saves us and enables us to really do the route we want to do and all get to the top, is taking it slow when we feel like we might take it fast. Because there will be a time that none of us can take it fast. Get to this lake, folks.
So this particular river comes from the Loch Howell Basin, basically, and we're gonna basically follow it. After we get up to Middle Fork Lake, we're gonna follow it up to the Loch Howell Basin. We're gonna branch off a little bit from the maintained trail. It is a trail, but and that's gonna get us up to connect to the Wheeler Ridge Trail.
I don't know where any of these rivers are coming from, what the names of the mountains are, or the species of trees, but I'm having a blast.
GPS is showing us basically at the lake. We got this one little round here, and then we'll be right up there.
Oh, baby. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is just like incredible. Like unreal.
Awesome. That's awesome. Oh man,
Real.
it's just like
It's so beautiful.
top bucket item right here. I mean, honestly, almost like it's better than Wheeler. Oh man, I love it. I love it.
It's so pretty.
This place is right up there. Most beautiful places I've been. But you know what? This is only the halfway mark on the climb up the mountain. We are now departing Middle Fork Lake and heading off on a trail that may be a little bushwhacky. We don't really know. We did run into some guys who had been down it yesterday, I think. And we're actually following them because they're heading up to Wheeler Peak along with us. They'll probably be going faster than we are, but they marked out on the trail how to get around some fallen trees and stuff like that. So don't really know what we're gonna run into, but it's gonna be epic. And so far, the team is sticking together. All four of us are feeling in high spirits, feeling good, excited to tackle the summit. Oh, baby. I'm loving this trail. It's really neat along the river there. It was really nice, gentle, soft dirt trail. And now it's starting to climb just a little bit. So I think maybe on the upward journey from here on.
This is tough. Like for me, this is tough. Elevation and everything, but we're taking it slow. We're starting to see the basin up there, getting the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're gonna make it.
stiff climb, combined with the maze of fallen trees we have to navigate around, has taken our already measured pace and slowed it to a crawl.
Very nice.
Say there's some trees and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. I'll walk around them.
Our biggest enemy right now is not our fatigue levels or provisions, but time. In these mountains, mid-afternoon thunder showers are common, and our goal was to be over the peak and on our way off the exposed slopes by 1 o'clock at the latest.
Not gonna lie, it's getting pretty steep. Pretty windy, for sure.
When we get to where the trail meets the trail Isaac's talking about, that where we've been before,
That main trail.
we might need to have a team meeting about the time, because we're already about 5.5 hours in, and we need to decide if all of us can get to the summit and back before like dark even.
Because the path down is longer. Probably easier.
Unless we come straight down.
But longer.
I don't think coming down this is even a great idea. I think it's gonna be better to go
Just
down.
the complexity
Yeah,
alone
and
is-
if it gets starting to get a little bit dark, we have been over it before, but you could. It's not beyond reason that we could all make it to the summit, but how fast, and is that a prohibitive factor?
it could be 3 hours easily.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we got a beautiful little meadow here. Oh yeah. Where in the world is the trail going? Right over there. Oh yeah. Oh, let's go. This meadow's beautiful, but we got our sights set on that. Oh, so we are stopped here. We're really close to where this really unknown trail meets up with the maintained trail, which is encouraging, but the altitude keeps going up and the trail is not going to get easier.
I was in way better shape last time I was up here. I think a little bit of food's gonna help me.
Yeah.
I keep getting kind of hit with a few waves of nausea, so it's making me kind of like, you know, it's kind of catch-22. If I eat,
Oh,
is that gonna stay put?
we're really considering what our course is going to be from here.
Major trail with markers, signs. Says Bowl of the Woods that way.
Reaching the end of Middle Fork Trail, where at last it joins a well-worn path to the peak. We're still 2 miles from the summit, and the time is 12:30. You're our team lead. I think talk to us about everything.
Been on the trail for 6.5 hours.
Wow.
Come 4 miles. So I feel like
There's
we've.
at least another mile and a half.
I feel like we're probably about at least probably 2 miles. A half a mile an hour. That's 4 hours.
What's our altitude now?
We are at 11.7, and then we got
And then
7
what's
miles,
the distance?
8 miles down.
about 8 miles down. None of the halfway options have us not going down here. So, man, this is a conundrum. I've not been.
Right.
Dreams. The one aspect that I don't think getting up to the summit at 4 o'clock is really an option.
And what's the
What is our alternative at this point? The realization is beginning to sink in that this isn't happening today.
What I'm concerned about, and I am serious, just because the one thing we have to consider is the weather, our food consumption, if we're going to need more energy.
I mean, do each of you seriously think that another, like you said, assuming you can make 2 miles an hour downhill, that another 8 to 9 hours of hiking is realistic.
We were prepared for a situation where Isaac and Katie had to stop on the trail, and Stephen and I continue on to the peak.
Well, you're saying if we head for the summit, there's no splitting up at that point.
But the possibility of none of us reaching the summit had honestly never entered my mind. And it hit me hard.
We can't handle being at 4 o'clock up top and coming back down this way. And we're a gamble going that way, not knowing how the route.
Our goal was to be coming off the mountain at this time. Really before this time.
Yeah.
I told Levi the other night that my entire goal, I wanted to be on Wheeler come heck or high water. And I would still love to do it. But I just don't see it. To be 4 hours from the peak at this time and just full speed ahead does not seem smart.
I honestly don't see it happening. And it pains me to say that. I think team decision is we're not making it to peak. I think we're settled.
It's a tremendously hard thing to accept, but I have to accept that, yes, if we don't make it to the peak, that has to be okay.
My ego says I'm gonna full send it up that mountain. If my dad were standing here right now, he'd say, let's get our butts back down the trail.
And I tell you one thing, if we get down to the bottom and we see a huge thundercloud up on top, I'm going to say thank you, Lord, that we didn't try to get up there.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, guys.
I'm having a hard time. Almost
It's the wise thing to do.
Whew, this is tough. Come all this way. And have to turn back, but at this time, that is the win for the team. So that's what we're gonna do. Heading down the mountain and still climbing the mountain. You don't realize how much something means to you until you're forced to let it go. I've been up this mountain before, but I realized I had really set my heart on doing it again. I'm a young guy without a ton of life experience, and if left to myself in that situation, I probably would have tried to forge ahead, go for broke, and try to reach the top. And it could have broken me, and certainly been very detrimental to our team. All four of us had to come to grips with the fact that this trail and this hike, this mountain, it doesn't define our lives as much as it feels like it does in the moment. It was an incredibly tough pill to swallow, to listen to some wisdom and some good judgment and make the decision to turn back. In the end, it was better than splitting up the four of us. It was better than all of us trying to reach the top, but it was such a hard call to make for all of us. You know, I said at the beginning of this, I wanted to come out of this trip a better person. I didn't really know what that might mean, but looking back on it, I think I did. Being forced to accept a failure on this trip, in this endeavor, actually was a victory in the things that really matter. And that's a life experience that I can tuck away that's going to be important to remember for the rest of my life.
Hey! Let's go. My takeaway from today is the fact that even though it was really like important to me and like a big goal and expectation to be up on top of the peak, it means more to me that all four of us are together all day. And I don't think even if you and I had gone up, Levi and I had gone up, which I think still would have been shaky, I still don't think it would have been the right thing to do. And it's just been a blast of a day. I'm thankful for the people I get to be with. And I mean, come on, like, who needs to be on the peak to enjoy this? And that's not to say we won't do it. Lord willing, we will.